Welcome back to another episode of Eric's Camping Adventures. We're going to go on another search today looking for some beautiful places. I am headed towards a little lake in southwest Missouri today in the flat plains with a lot of wind and windmills. That should have been my first warning. I have not been out for a while in my trailer with my rooftop tent, and I decided to bring it this weekend, but the wind picked up in an unpredictable way, so I'm not sure it was the best choice, but I definitely would have been better off in a low-profile ground tent hidden behind my Jeep for a windbreak. I tried the windbreak anyway with the Jeep. I did pick up the wind direction correctly, but I'm not sure how much it helped. The sunset was pretty beautiful. It was dusty and windy, and just couldn't hide all the good colors. It was past time to get some dinner started. I was losing light pretty fast. The wind was significant enough that it really excluded an open wood fire. I decided an acceptable setup would be my Dutch oven hanging over my propane fire pit, and it was burgers and broccoli night. The silver underneath is an asbestos pad, just protecting the dry grass.
Well, that was a late night of cooking in the dark and in the wind, and I think I got my burger a good temperature there, so I didn't poison myself. And I'm just going to do a little bit of reading here, and then I'm going to turn in.
My morning looks pretty usual and peaceful for my morning routine while I'm camping, but last night got a little bit wild. We had some bad thunderstorms and some straight line winds that may have at one time actually picked my camper up into the air. It definitely folded the rooftop tent over on me, and it left a lot of my bedding inside of my rooftop tent entirely soaked. At one point, I did scramble out of my rooftop tent, got into my Jeep, and sat there and just waited out the storm till about 1:30 in the morning.
And I am just letting it air dry over here in the sunshine. Sleeping bag actually dried the first, but I still have this pad here that needs to dry out. And windy day, hopefully we'll pick up the moisture and dry it out, and good sunshine this morning. So gonna get that dried out and then check out this lake here behind me, do some hiking and some fishing. So I've let the wind just dry out the inside of the tent, and it is dry now. And now I got to figure out how to get this back up into that little dark little sleeve there, and it comes around and hooks on the side. I have no idea how that thing worked its way out in the storm, but it did, and I found it on the ground in the morning. So we're gonna get this side of the tent open and see what we can do to get that back up in there.
This is my first solo camping adventure of the fall, and it's been actually quite some time that I've actually gone out solo. And I have to admit, that was just a bit rattling last night. Glad that everything on the tent is actually okay. There's no damage, just dislodged.
Velcro held, but the bar came out. That's crazy.
I'm going to go for a little walk here and let that bedding continue to dry.
distance there is a combine. It is the soybean harvest right now. Makes a little dust, but looks like the prevailing wind is hitting another direction. Looks like a handicapped accessible boat access there. I don't think I've ever seen one like that before. Nice little fishing dock here. That's a horrible bathroom. Don't go there.
This is technically called the Shawnee Trail Conservation Area, and it is a 3,600 acre area. It really takes its name from a major role that it played as a trail called the Texas Road. It was at various times followed by Native Americans and any other settlers that headed towards Texas. Today it is a conservation area for hunting, trapping, fishing, camping, waterfowl hunting, and bird watching, and lots of photography.
The service road do not enter sign is for vehicles.
These great little berms that are walkouts into the lakes are great for deeper water casting, and I'm not sure why you couldn't camp there. There's a little fire pit there at the end. If you walked in, set up your camp, I guess you probably need to ask if you can do it, but sure does look like a nice place to camp, right out on the water. No wind protection though.
So this is a second campground in the, I guess it's the Shawnee Conservation Area. at Gardner Lake, but it's called Pin Oak Lake at the sign over there. A little more protected from the wind here with the trees, and then the dam back behind me. But I chose not to camp here, even though there was wind protection, and I'm glad that I didn't for a couple reasons. But here's the big ones right there. They call that deadfall for a reason, and it really needs to be trimmed off for safety. I mean, even if you're a hard side camper, you still don't want that to come down on you. You don't know how old it is. I mean, there's still some like little, I don't know what those things are, some kind of nut on there maybe. I don't know, looks like a maple tree, maybe they're like acorns, but you don't really know how old that deadfall is, and you don't want it coming down on your tent and killing you during a windstorm. Almost got killed anyway, right? So there's like one up there, there's one over here, a little bit down at the end there. And then as you come over to this other site, you can see that a branch has already come down, right? From somewhere. Someone tried to burn it. Then you get out up there and there. These trees really need to be trimmed out. I don't think you should label it as a campground and then I believe this is supposed to be a third site here. There's a fire ring here, and it's set up the same other. It just looks like maybe this gravel hasn't been maintained in through here. But again, you can see the deadfall. I wouldn't want to stay here if it's windy. And I realize that you know, most of this area is used by hunters, but still, if you come and hunt and camp, you really don't want that coming down on your tent or your camper, right? Yeah, it's a nice idea, but it's not maintained very well, I don't think. I got all this stuff dried out in the sun today. The wind and the sun took care of that, and now I'm just chilling, taking a load off, and gonna do a little bit of reading. And I'm just tired. You know, I didn't sleep at all that night, except maybe 1 or 2 hours during that storm. I slept like an hour before, and then afterwards, boy, it was hard going back to sleep because I saw some other systems on weather radar. And after that, boy, I wasn't, they were smaller, but wow. Totally not predicted except for like in the evening, just a small amount of rain, but nothing like that soaker. I had to put a lot of little pieces of this tent back together. One of these posts had come off its plastic mounting right down here, and I had to push out with my leg and put it back on. So yeah, I'm tired.
The air is starting to get cool, so I'm gonna zip up the windows and probably hop out and make some dinner here. It's time to finish off the rest of that broccoli with my steak. Another good night of meat and vegetables. I have found the Dutch oven lid and the propane fire pit to be a great combination for cooking. I just keep my flame down low. Got some neighbors tonight, some really sweet older couple that I've actually seen them here before when I came to scope out this lake, and yeah, just really sweet people. I don't see myself out in these flat plains with lots of snow, lots of wind, trying to camp, so this is probably gonna be the last one up here for a little while.